You do not need therapy. You need to go on a walk, brother. People are in therapy way too much nowadays. Thinking about your problems all day will not solve your problems. They will make your problems worse. I think it's a spreading problem that people are in therapy too much and they're getting within their own heads too much and it's making their life worse. You need to be free. You need to move. You need to get yourself more busy. You need to cloud up your fucking head. And so that way when you have little ideas and you track off and you actually have free time to think, you can spend them on positive thoughts and try to learn from your negative thoughts and then move on. Get rid of those. Instead, therapy emphasizes thinking on your bad thoughts all the time, and that only ruminates inside. That only makes you feel those feelings even more. You're supposed to learn from the lesson and kick it out the head.
I never really considered it. I never considered that thinking about your problems all the time and talking about your problems all the time literally make the problems grow.
That's right. I mean, it's the number one symptom of depression is what they call rumination, this pathological obsessing over your pain.
Yeah.
That's why stuff like exercise, that's one of the reasons, aside from chemical reasons, one of the reasons that doing anything, you know that running errands is good for your mental health? Getting out of your house and accomplishing anything is good for you. But sitting around talking and thinking about your problems, that's a bad habit. And the best cognitive behavioral therapists and others, you know, the dialectical behavioral therapists, the ones who do really well with depression, the first thing they do is try to break that bad pattern. But a lot of therapists just indulge it.
People in therapy too long, they start talking like they're in therapy too long. You can hear them just emphasizing on emotions that don't need to be emphasized. Just over there fucking creating problems for yourself, brother. Unless you've been in a very serious, tragic event that really changes your life, is a real 360, 180, whatever the fuck type of event, then you don't really need therapy, guys. You just need to go on a long walk and maybe journal a little bit. I remember watching some dude randomly popped on my feed a couple days ago talk about retardmaxing. And as a fellow retard, I had to do some investigation. Basically, one of his main points was just that we are too much in our head nowadays when we used to be like in our body and our gut. You used to move and be free and fuck around, and that would free your brain from all these thoughts. Sometimes thinking about it all the time does no good. You need to fuck around. Be a little retarded. Let your natural ambitions flow out of you. Like, if we're all being honest, the worst times that we've ever went through mentally is when we just locked ourselves in the bed, locked ourselves in the room for way too long. Most of the time your thoughts cultivate into something evil and they're not even really your thoughts. But if you just let your brain run forever, it's going to think of some fucked up shit. Maybe I can't speak about that for everybody, but I like to think that's a pretty common occurrence. When you sit and do nothing and sit with your thoughts, nothing great normally comes out of it unless you're fucking Einstein. But even then, Einstein was focused on a mission. He was focused on something that let him get away from just drifting, non-focused, bad trauma problem fucking shit. He was focused on his building, his learning, his electricity, Ben Franklin, whatever the fuck he was doing. You gotta be building something. You gotta be working on something. You gotta keep the mind busy. The body and the mind is meant to work. Humans are meant to work. If it's for something shitty and you fucking hate your life, obviously that's different, but it's still better than just sitting still for the most part. I can speak about it personally. I mean, as a semi-medium employed fellow, semi-unemployed, that's really why I made this YouTube channel.
How we get the money. That's the beauty of it, bro. They deposit the money into our bank accounts. Week after week, month after month. They're not even gonna know they being robbed. And then 20, 30 years later, we walk out the front door like nothing even happened. Mother, that's called a job! Mother, that's called a job!
Something to build, something to work on. I got a couple other things going too, but I can feel it firsthand. The more I do shit, the more I walk, the more I get out there, the better I feel. No shit, you're depressed, bro. You're sitting there with your depressed thoughts all day, just recycling them. Obviously, there's true clinical depression, and that is different. That these people need help. They need drugs, they need therapy, they need something else to help them out. But it's almost become popular for everyone else in the world, people who don't truly have that type of depression, to say that they have depression. When really, you just gotta get out of your head, you gotta move, and you gotta fucking live some life, brother. Pop those negative thoughts out of your head. Get rid of them. Let them go. Let's be retarded. Retard Max. No, seriously though, he was kind of spitting. It was kind of interesting. I didn't expect to like the video. He's kind of goofy, but he has a point. We need to stop therapeuting everything. Because then even the person who's getting the therapy to them, they start talking all therapeutic to people all of a fucking sudden. Speaking in that language, you know, that therapeutic language that it's just like, why are we emphasizing these negative emotions? It sounds unnatural and it sounds so weird. We do not need to dig 10 layers deep on every subject that pops in your head. Some things are just meant to touch us and go. And I think this over therapy environment that we have right now on the west side of the world is a problem. It's actually making all of us sadder and not happier. Maybe ditch the therapy. Maybe go fucking have some fun. Go for a walk. Try to change your mental. Try to get out of your head, brother. Sisters. Everyone. Therapy's fucking us up. We gotta leave that shit behind. Thank you.
What a manipulative, conniving dictator! What the f*** is wrong with him? Why would he manipulate you? Why would he do that? Did you give in? No!